Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. My name is Eicher, and today's video lesson is going to be about shifting positions on the mandolin neck. Okay, so the first thing we're looking at are shapes, common shapes on the mandolin neck. What I think of as, sometimes I use the word position. For the purposes of building this one finger at a time, I'd like to start on first finger. So my first idea for a shape or a position would be when your first finger is on the root. So when I play an A scale, my first finger is on the root. And so what that means is there is an implied roll for all of your fingers. So normally when you play an A scale in first position, the corresponding fingers will be first, second, third. In this case, open, because we are in first position. And then the subsequent fingers. Basically the same thing on the D string. Moving up the neck, you have to keep in mind that we will end up using our fourth finger. So if I were going to pretend that we were somewhere where I can't use those open strings, if we were further up the neck, then it would be whatever my vocabulary is, the licks that I develop out of this position, I know I could use those, for instance, here. What would be the next shape that we have? That would be when your second finger is on the root. If you played a G scale in first position. Here's a perfect example of when you have your second finger on the root. Basically, there's an implicit roll that all of your fingers are going to take, the notes that are available and fit that position, that you would use those fingers to play. So now we're going to talk about when your third finger is on the root, your first three fingers being the fingers that you're going to use the most. So if we were in the key of D, so now we're going to talk about actually shifting. If you think about where we are, our starting place, we're in first position. So with this idea, our third finger is on the root. But the idea of shifting up here is going to allow me to access these notes in a different way. The third finger is on D, and I'm going to slide up all the way to an F sharp. And for my lick, because I want to have something to help to execute after I make the move, so that's going to be now, if I truly, so I shifted up, but I didn't even access, or I didn't even go for these notes up here, so. So the move is what I want you to really get out of this, because at the end of the day, you can play any lick here. And so when you recognize that you're in third position, now, that was the first position that we talked about, when my first finger is on the root. So those are the two positions that we've connected. Now, another example would be if I go up here, and see, I slid my third finger up to an E, and what that does is it puts me in this position where my second finger is on the root. What I want you to recognize is that this chord, this common mandolin chord, is what we opened ourselves up to. Because if you're just playing in D, but see now I'm playing F sharp on the D string, which would normally be my second finger. But for me, that's just as normal to play that note with my first finger because I'm out of this position. If I'm playing like an A flat scale, I'm going to do this if I'm starting down here. I will use my fourth finger, but practically speaking, when I'm playing a tune that's in A flat, I'm not just reciting the A flat scale. Maybe I'll play this arpeggio that we looked at earlier, but for me, I find it much more comfortable to go ahead and shift up. Now what I want to point out, that with my third finger, which is a stronger finger than my fourth finger, when that's on A flat, see how I can play the same ideas being in closed position?